right. Thank you, Mindy. I appreciate that. And it's good to see some friendly faces. And it would be great for those of you who will join us. It looks like we don't have a huge crowd, which is great. We've got an intimate crowd. If you could turn your cameras on, it would be wonderful. The reason I request that is as I'm going through, hey, Dina, it's good to see you again.
Hi, Larry. Nice to see you.
So Dina was a job hacker. Anyway, welcome. It helps me so I can see your reactions as I'm talking about things. And if not, I feel like I'm talking into this vast void. So it's awesome if you can turn on your cameras and I can see your lovely faces, and I can also see if what I'm saying actually makes any sense to y'all, and hopefully it will. One of the biggest problems I try to avoid is wasting anybody's time. I certainly don't want to waste any of your time. I hope that the investment that you make today in this little talk is worthwhile. Mindy mentioned that I am what we call the Chief Agile Officer for the Job Hackers. So I'm going to do a quick plug for that. We're a nonprofit that teaches Agile and Scrum to people who are looking for work, unemployed, in transition. We do it for free to help upskill them and help them to find work. So we have worked with thousands of people over the last 4 years and donated over $2.5 million worth of free training. And I run a little class called the Agile MBA, which will be starting October 5th, and we'll start enrollment this weekend. So we expect about 250 people to join us worldwide for our next Agile MBA class, and maybe one of you all. The talk that I'm going to present today is really, in some respects, a distillation of the main themes that I covered during the Agile MBA class in one spot. And I've referred to it as the 10 things your CIO probably doesn't know, but should. It's not just, you could put CEO or director or VP in that. It's the leadership in software development that sometimes, at least in my experience, doesn't seem to know certain things. And the way I calculate that is by the way that they behave, right? So they may understand these things, but they certainly don't necessarily behave as if they understand these things. First thing I want to cover is, why. I talk a lot about why in my class. Why is it important that leadership understand these things that I'm going to present, these 10 things, and it's not the only 10, but it's kind of the top 10 in my book. And for software developers, I've truly believed this, and this has been my experience in a dozen plus years of being an Agile coach and working at a lot of places. If you go to my LinkedIn, you'll see the places I've worked. These are household names, software development companies, technology companies that people would recognize. Most of the software developers I work with are crushed under the cumulative weight of years of poor decision-making by people in positions of authority. That's my thesis. That's my theme. And I believe that to be true, and my experience has proven that. And I believe that the root cause of this problem is that there is a fundamental misunderstanding of the difference between knowledge work and physical work, and the difference between knowledge workers and physical workers. I think there's a fundamental difference understanding what I would consider, and some people refer to as the world of complexity versus the complicated and the simple or the obvious. I think that a lot of decisions are made, and I think more so these days because our attention spans keep getting less and less, and the number of decisions and things that we need to do to be successful in business continues to increase. I think those decisions are made based on intuition, and they're based on what we would consider Taylorism. This is something that doesn't really exist. We're knowledge workers, and the way I tell people that you're a knowledge worker, if you do most of your work on Zoom, you're probably a knowledge worker, right? This stuff is not new. The things I'm going to present are not new. These things have been known for some time, but most people in positions of authority don't display an understanding of it, at least by the behavior. I think it's more acute in technology than in other areas. And I think the reason is that we tend to hire leaders for their technical acumen as opposed to their leadership. And I'm going to refer to leaders and managers. Managers are what you need in the world that is the physical, in the complicated world. In the simple world, we need leaders. In the complex world, we need leaders in knowledge work. So that's a distinction I'll make throughout that. What is the result of this behavior or this inability to recognize the fundamental difference between knowledge work and knowledge workers? Customers suffer. We don't deliver solutions to our customers soon enough. But this is, I'm a big proponent of agility. Products suffer. Our products aren't as good as they could and should be. The workers doing the work, and this is the reason why I do what I do, both my day job and my nonprofit, is to try to relieve the suffering of the people who do the work. And to a certain degree, businesses suffer, and I don't want to get too dire, but entire economies are adversely affected. We are not solving the major problems in the world of global warming and other things. And I think that some of this stems from this fundamental misunderstanding. So there are certain things that I believe that leaders within organizations should know, specifically about knowledge workers, that they don't currently know. And because of this, many, many years ago, I stated Apke's first law of agile transformation. I've since done a few others. If you're in the business of trying to transform a company into an agile company, your transition will only go as far as the highest ranking manager who understands and supports it. It's not enough just to give checkbook support. You need to understand it, because there are fundamental changes that you will need to make in your systems and in your people and how you do things. And unless you do so, you will probably not be very successful.